All right, wrestling buddies. Give me another grape. Oh yeah. I'm Adam, Adam G, aka Grade A, aka the Time Traveler's Wife, aka uh, Grade A Zeus. I don't know. What's up, Wayne? How you doing?
Hey, good afternoon, buddy. I'm doing just fine. Good afternoon, everybody else. I hope you're having a bitchin' weekend.
I had a good weekend. I ref some flag football, youth flag football yesterday.
Nice.
I've refed intramural flag football for adults. I've played it. Rules are a little bit different for the youths, and I got a little frustrated with the other ref. Just right at the beginning of the game, the one of the coaches from the opposing team is speaking to the other ref while the play is going on, and the other ref completely missed the play at the other on his end of the field, and the ref and the coach behind me is like, "Hey, isn't that a penalty? Isn't that a penalty?" I'm like, "That's his call to make." Because I'm down here looking at the line of scrimmage, and I looked at the coach across the field. I was like, "Hey, coach, can you not talk to the ref during the play?" And the ref came up to me and he's like, "Hey, you just keep your eyes down the line." And I'm like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "You look at the line, I'll look over here." I was like, "Look, I initially wasn't mad at you. I was talking to the coach because he was speaking to you." And he just rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, "Come on, dude. Like, I'm just, I can't look at the whole field." Okay. Like,
That's where
anyway.
you get Vince Vaughn from old school and she goes, let's make it official then. Let's make it official and start throwing lawn chairs out on there.
Yeah. I mean, I was all decked out. I had a striped shirt on and everything. And I was playing the part, looking at the the parents, and that's an illegal forward pass. Illegal forward pass. Um, I didn't really look at the parents, but I did do the arm motion for an illegal forward pass. And the coach said, "What does that mean?" I go, "Illegal forward pass." He's like, "Oh, okay."
They
But
just
yeah,
start
it was a good weekend.
gestures from other sports and just threw them all off. Just like, foul!
Yeah, hand check. We got icing on this 9-year old.
Just ring somebody up whenever they get a first down.
All right. So we had a SmackDown. It was good. Wasn't as good as Raw after Mania, I would say. But we're gonna have you run us through the happenings of um, Friday Night SmackDown, and then at the end, I'll run us through some expectations going into tomorrow night's Raw. Um, so what do you got? What do you got for us for SmackDown?
All right. SmackDown, April 25th, out of Fort Worth, Texas. They're moving east. We kicked off the show with John Cena coming out with his black and white entrance, backward title, giving us a whole lot of attitude, sass, and not much else. Uh, he got into the ring, got the mic, had the ring announcer pop off the script that he pulled out of his pocket, the same shenanigans from Monday night, and before he could say a word,
I have voices in my head. They call me neighbor. I got to learn the words to that whole song so the kids and I can sing
bingo,
it. So I just got to start playing it constantly on a loop.
the bingo.
Yeah.
Randy Orton showed up and they sized each other up for a minute, and then Randy to serve and decided he was gonna take care of a fellow wrestler, somebody who's been in the business for a long time, just like he has. He decided he was gonna solve John Cena's problems. He doesn't have any damn kids.
Yeah, that fixes everything. And you can take mine. Just kidding. I love my children.
What would the world be like with a couple of square jawed, thick forearmed little Cenas running around?
Hmm.
And how did John Cena take it?
I mean, he's like, I've been raising kids for the last 25 years. Like, I've been raising these damn kids. Like, I mean, I've always preached that having children doesn't make you a good or bad person. It just like if you don't want to have kids, you don't want to have kids. and I'm pretty sure John Cena doesn't want to have kids. And he explained it that he's been raising these kids, and I guess one kid gave him the finger out there in the crowd. He's like, "See, this kid just gave me a finger. Great job, Dad."
I loved the angle though. They played off of something real because of what you just mentioned. It's common knowledge that John Cena does not want kids. He was engaged to Nikki Bella, and the premise of their parting was because he didn't want to have kids.
Yeah, and he's married now. I think he's been married for a couple years now.
And he's openly, stated that he and his wife don't want to have kids. So I love the realness that was brought with that little piece. Um, I also think Randy Orton. This is just my assumption. Could be totally wrong, but I think Randy is like as self-fulfilled and as happy as not just a wrestler but as a human being as we've probably ever seen. I mean, he's 10 out of 10 jacked. He consistently references his smoke show wife. Um, the
Well,
stuff.
he's really quick to talk about like how he made mistakes early on in his career and how much of a d bag he was, and he brought that up in the ring on how he's made mistakes.
Mhm.
I just think, and I want to talk about this later um, when we talk about the preview to Raw. But a little snippet of it is, it's kind of crazy to see. Even Randy referenced it. It's crazy to see. He's like, I'm the good guy and you're the bad guy. Like, who would have thunk? Um, it's it's hard. It's obviously hard for people to boo John Cena now once he was gone and he comes back. I don't think Randy is going to get booed like ever again. I just think he's reached that status within the company as that veteran that he's never going to get booed again. And I want to tackle that again. Like I said, when we talk about Raw, the quips and everything. I'm looking forward to this match. I don't want to jump ahead too soon on what I'm thinking. If you got more about SmackDown.
No, well, I just like the realness of that segment with regard to them playing off of one another and how they incorporated, the children. And then, after that, Randy said, I'm a piece of furniture around here. You're just a guest. Randy's gonna keep doing this until he can't do it anymore. And John Cena's been gone. Randy's been here the whole time. And the way he sold that was different. It was same but different as somebody like Seth Rollins to CM Punk. And, if I was the fish, I was biting on that. I enjoyed it.
John Cena was pretty
Yeah.
quick to say that well, then I'm going to ruin your livelihood.
Well, he was basically getting amped up off of what Randy was saying, which to me came off as very, very genuine. I want to ruin wrestling for 3 generations of your family because Randy referenced his dad, and then John came back and had had enough, and that's what he said. So he's making it as personal as he can, and then what Cena went in and tried to sucker him. And long story short, he wound up eating another RKO at the end of it all. I think he kicked the shit out of Randy probably 15 times or more, but he wound up eating an RKO at the end of it. So um, what we get from that is concrete Cena Orton backlash. Questions for you about it. What do you think the buildup looks like, and that uh, if that interferes or meshes too much with what you've got planned for the Raw segment later, then we can skip it. Um,
No, it's in Randy's hometown, St. Louis, so that's going to be fun. The build's fun because it's nostalgic, and it's nostalgic, but with a different viewpoint because of the switching of roles of the two of these two characters. Um, I'm excited for it. I don't think they have to do too much. Like basically, Cena just keeps getting crossroaded and RKO'd, and I think that's going to be the theme is that he keeps getting these little um, finishers done on him leading up to these matches. He's going to win. I mean, actually, you know what? I'm going to put on wax now. He is going to lose by disqualification in the same fashion that Randy Orton lost by disqualification in 2008 against John Cena, where Cena jumped back into the ring from a count out before the ref got to 10. Orton's on three, all threes. Yeah, he's got one arm up and then both knees on, and he's just so distraught that John Cena got back in the ring, and the ref being too close to Randy just slaps him in the face, and he gets himself disqualified and he retains his championship. And I think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see that, and it's probably going to be the main event, and people are not going to be happy. But I think that would be a perfect way to get like maybe some real heat on John Cena. Maybe not here after, like after um, Backlash. They're going to continue to have more cheers, more "Let's go Cena's" than "Cena sucks." But on that night in St. Louis, there will definitely be a lot of boos if that
Right.
is the ending. And I think it's a good way to just show the chicken shitness of John Cena when he's in the ring. We'll see. But I don't think you have to do much to build it because of these two, of who they are and their history together.
For sure. For sure. One more question for the Cena Orton match. Do you think it's a one and done at Backlash? Okay.
I do. I think because with the limited dates that John Cena has, I don't think we're going to stay on anybody too long unless it's like, unless like someone else gets involved. So we will see him again against Cody again, I think, because someone got involved. But I think, although if it ends in the fashion that I said, who's to say that we don't see it again? I don't know. I don't know. I I have to. I have. Last week you had mentioned that Randy Orton's gonna get the best out of John Cena. I'm worried that this match is not gonna be good. Um, because we saw John Cena in the ring against Cody, and it was a lot of Parapper the Rapper, uh, kick while I'm punching, punch while I'm kicking, and that's kind of what Randy does now. So maybe they can give us a version of that IC triple threat from WrestleMania. What was it, 2 years ago, with Sheamus, Gunther, and Drew? If it's really physical, and turn it into a big meaty man type match. But I'm worried about this match being not watchable, but maybe that's the reason because he wants to ruin wrestling. So like,
Well, you you push me to it. Do you think this is just a straight up, one? Are there any stipulations?
I don't think so. Um, I mean, if there are, then they're gonna have to build for it over the next couple of weeks. But I don't know. I'm a little worried about this match. I love both of these guys, but they are long in the tooth. Um, yeah, I'm a little worried on what this match is going to look like.
Well, I mean, this is what you get, and it's not haterade or anything, but this will probably be a consistent problem throughout his title reign. Is how is this match gonna be different or better or good? And we'll get to some of that later. We'll end the show. I've got some questions for you at the end of the show. Moving on. Next we had Fraxium and Los Garza. What is it? Axiom and Nathan Frazier and Berto and Angel.
Yeah, let's no disrespect, but let's speed through this one because
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Fraxium's on the SmackDown roster. Because when we were talking about the Raw preview, I have the Raw tag division as one of the topics. Uh, I mean, it was a fun match. Like all these guys are incredibly talented and athletic. I was just kind of surprised to see Fraxium on the SmackDown roster, considering how loaded the SmackDown roster is with the tag division, and we'll talk about it at the end with the TLC title match. And there was some, and Pretty Deadly wasn't even in that match, and they're one of the ones that are up there in the tag division as well. So, yeah, I'm not disrespecting the gentlemen that were in the match. It's just
Sure. It
wanted
was
to jump on
it
it.
was almost Moonsaultapalooza. There were spots all
Yeah.
over the place. Fast, fun, technically sound, offensive showcase. That sound about right?
Yep.
Nate Garza hit the like a twisting 540 splash off the top for the win. Nate
Nate
Garza.
Garza,
Yeah. Well, or excuse me, Nate
Nathan
Garza.
Frazier.
Nathan Frazier. Nate
Okay,
Frazier. My
you
bad.
just combined them.
My bad. Yeah, I
Okay.
did. But very good match. You said the word a couple times since we've been doing this. The draft
Yeah,
in
got to
response to
balance
what
it
you
out.
guys
Yeah.
said. Moving on.
Hmm.
We caught a glimpse at Money in the Bank, June 7th,
In LA.
the Intuit Dome. Uh, two hopefuls, one man, one woman for Money in the Bank. What do you got?
Uh,
Spitball it.
men, men, Carmelo, Carmelo
Yep.
Hayes. I think this is his. I think he's going to win it this year. That's actually my pick to win early. I'll give you another one, but I want to stay on Carmelo Hayes. He won that Andre the Giant battle royal.
Hmm.
He was the first round pick of last year's draft. I think they're getting prepped for him to take a step. I think Aleister Black coming out and taking out Miz. I think that's going to be Carmelo's cue that I'm gonna not associate with you anymore, Miz. You go ahead and handle your business with Aleister Black. Um, I kind of spoiled it there, but then everybody
Beginning
started
of
watching.
his ascension for sure.
Yeah, so I think Carmelo, and then another one I'm gonna say is Ray Phoenix. That's kind of self-explanatory. I think he's freaking incredible in the ring. Um, his version of the Undertaker's old school is a lot faster and I wouldn't say cooler. Undertaker's old school is cool, him walking on the ropes, but Ray Phoenix like runs on the ropes, and I think that's really really cool. So those are my two early picks for men's Money in the Bank. For the women, the SmackDown side of it all, um, I'm not saying it's not weak, but it's we definitely saw the future of the business on last week's Raw with the people that interrupted that Stephanie and Io match. Um, so for the women's side, I'm gonna go ahead and probably throw in Jade Cargill as one of my top two that could win it, and then the other being Stephanie Verker.
Okay.
Those are my two early, and I'm writing them down so I remember. Jade Cargill, she's back. She had that. I'm sure we're going to talk about it later. Her match with Tiffy Time, um, but I think those are the two that I would look out for the women's Money in the Bank. And then as storylines progress and we start getting a feel of who they want to position as, hey, pay attention to these people that I am at the liberty to change my mind.
Sure. Real quick, my two, I've got Drew McIntyre who can hopefully do it right
Back to
this time.
back.
Drew McIntyre or Braun Breaker because of the drama that you could inject with him carrying that briefcase around. For the women, I've got Charlotte Flair because that would be wonderful for her to have that briefcase, and also Jade.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
I like the
yep,
Braun. I like the Braun pick.
yeah, for sure. Um, Next up, we got Tiffy time.
Her face is definitely still swollen.
Yeah,
She got. She's still so. She is still showing the effects of that match with Charlotte Flair from WrestleMania.
for sure. She caught a warm reception from the crowd. Nice, like she's not, the man over, but she's getting there. She's getting there. She hasn't. I don't think she got that moment at WrestleMania where she was just stupid over, and I don't think that was the point. But to further her progression and her ascension, um, warm reception, not an obnoxious pop. She was quickly interrupted on the mic after spitting her "I won at WrestleMania" stuff by Jade Cargill. Jade challenged her. Uh, I was kind of taken aback. I was like, and then they went to commercial. I was like, it's go time, I guess. And when they came back from commercial, my immediate thought process was, there's no way this is a clean finish. And
Well, also it was non-title. The title was never on the line. Right?
to be honest with you, watching the match, and I'm not gonna quote specific spots. It was a little choppy and chunky. It wasn't a Tiffy and Jade are both on their A game type of match. It wasn't bad, but it was a little. You could tell there were little slips and dinks and dunks.
I
Um,
like the Charlotte Tiffy match.
right. So, uh, like I said, no way there's going to be a clean finish. Naomi shows up late in the match. Uh, just got to put a plug out there. Her gear, her Proceed with
Awesome.
Caution gear. Yes, that it says right there. Um, and she goes to beating the shit out of Jade, and then we get a surprise entrance from.
Nia Jax, yeah, Nia jumps Tiffy. You know, she never got her lick back from Tiffy capitalizing with the Money in the Bank briefcase and getting that. So, and then there was this look. Well, she takes Tiffy out and she pulls her and gives her the old Yokozuna splash bonsai, and there was this look between Nia and Naomi, and the first thing that popped in my mind is like, oh shit, are we getting not women's bloodline, but I mean they are related by marriage
For
down
sure.
the line. Naomi being married to Jimmy Uso, Nia being a I don't know what number cousin, but she is part of that. Her name was up on that family tree that The Rock showed at last year's WrestleMania.
For sure.
Um, so that'll be interesting to see. Are we going to start seeing a friendship between these two? That'll be interesting to see.
That it left me with the exact same thoughts. I didn't go the same direction you did. I like your insight on it with regard to the relation. I just kind of immediately wandered toward, are we looking at tag matches between these four, or some sort of, these four are obviously going to be involved in a package, most likely on SmackDown moving forward. But what does the build to Backlash look like? I'm assuming it would be a singles match or singles matches, but it could be a big tag build as well. So again, we'll see where that yellow brick road takes us. Moving on.
Yeah,
Next up, and they've been airing this for a week or two now, but wanted to make the plug. Cardi B is hosting the first two night SummerSlam.
yeah, that'll be fun. Cardi B is a big wrestling fan. I hope she. I'm trying to think of. if she gets physical at all, who's it going to be with? And my guess is probably Chelsea Green. Uh, I think that would be a good one to do. Like, I'm not expecting Cardi B to do a Hurricane Rana or anything like that, but maybe they let her train. It would be cool to see her do like a Canadian destroyer. I
As
don't know
long
if
as,
she's gonna do
yeah,
that.
if they can give her the Bad Bunny treatment, vice like the Snooki from the Jersey Shore treatment from years ago, then like I'm about it, you know.
Yeah,
Next up, Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf, comes out with Solo.
Solo getting in a real, I don't know, ownerish with how he's talking about Jacob.
Yeah, so much so that Jacob snatched the mic from him. Jacob was rocking that 42 Raider jersey.
Mm-hmm. Go
Mhm.
Raiders.
uh, Shortly after LA Knight's music hits, he wants a rematch right now. And, and then our boy Drew McIntyre's music hits, which I was just like, what? Where are they going with this? What is going on right now? And Drew, in classic Drew fashion, spits hot fire on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Say, I'm tall, jacked, and handsome, and much like Texas, I've got some big ones, and then he just throws
Big
them.
guns.
Yeah,
He said big guns.
I've got some big guns.
Yeah.
He throws the flex. Um, uh,
Blah, blah, blah. Somebody wake me up when this mush mouth is done.
yeah. What'd he say about what was it? Randy jumped the line. This what is this Nepo wrestling entertainment?
Yeah.
He just spits and spit, and then he hits Cena. Cena's a punk. Drew wants to fight the baddest dog in the yard, and then he looked at Jacob and he was like, "Jacob, I want to fight you." Um, the result was the was Drew against LA Knight for the number one contender for the U.S. title match, or for the U.S. title, excuse me.
I mean, when Drew came out, like I was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to see Drew versus Jacob Fatu. Like that'll be brutal.
Yeah,
Definitely want to see that.
yeah,
But I don't want to see it at the expense of, because they're obviously they have some big ideas for Jacob Fatu on who he's going to be in this company. Um, like I said earlier, I don't know, our first episode or second episode, that I'm pretty sure that this what they've done with Jacob Fatu is what they were planning to do with Bronson Reed before he went out with injury. Um, so I definitely want to see Drew in the heavyweight in the WWE Championship or the heavyweight championship fold again. So I don't want this to be at the expense of that, of seeing him there, but because I think Jacob's got a freaking rocket strapped to his back right now. The crowd loves him. They're so into him, and he's not even asking for the admiration from the crowd. They
no,
just
he's just kind
they
of
just
taking
freaking
it.
dig him. They dig his intensity. They dig his not I mean too, like everything. They're super into him. So I think we're gonna have some kind of fallout or bloodline reconciliation between Solo and Jacob eventually, but he's over, and I like LA Knight a lot, but I want to see Drew and Jacob just beat the crap out of each other.
For sure. I don't know where Solo factors into all this, but
I kind of
you
feel
know,
bad for Solo because he he's definitely different, has modified his character from who he was as the enforcer, because
right.
now he's like lighter and not as serious and goofier. Like he talks like this sometimes when he's talking about the crowd, like, and it's definitely which you should, that's awesome that he's been able to do that, that we see this different side of Solo. But I don't know, like he's almost kind of lost in the sauce when it
Yeah,
comes to.
it kind of feels like to me that WWE created, and this is not a knock on them at all, but I don't want to say they don't know what to do, but they're unsure of how to steer his character, and I think he's probably just out there doing more than he is adhering to a script or whatever. I think he it's probably something that he and them are both aware of, and it is nice to see him show that range and ability. But eventually, we're going to need some direction, some guidance on what the hell is going on with him because
Right. I
he's
mean, is there enough, like, Roman on that documentary talked about him becoming this tribal chief was all about getting his family over, getting his family individually over. And is the yard big enough for all of them? Because you got
Mhm.
Jay, who's the world heavyweight champion. Jimmy has been showing up and kind of being big brother for Jay. Taking on Gunther, getting the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah,
And then Jacob now is this United States champion, and then Roman's always going to have a storyline at the top that doesn't need a title now. He's at the point where maybe he doesn't need the title, but eventually that's got to come back around, you know. Eventually him regaining that championship has got to come back around. But like with Solo and Jimmy and then Tamatanga, I think he's legit hurt. Uh that's why LA Knight did the slam his arm in the car door thing. But is there enough yard for all of them to get over individually, where and then also not have to cross paths to rekindle a bloodline story or talk about the bloodline story? And that's what I'm interested in, because I don't know what you do with Solo, and I don't know what they're gonna do with Jimmy. So
it's a good thing though. They're a wash in talent. They just got to
yeah,
figure out how to squeeze as much juice out of the fruit as they can, and also,
maybe one of them win the Money in the Bank. That's a quick way to get him over.
yeah. That I was thinking, I wasn't thinking Jacob obviously because he's the champion, but I was thinking Solo maybe. But
Or Jimmy. Oh,
well, and I wanted to reference it was either on Worldwide or the Mass Man Show, the Ringer podcast, where they had Jey Uso on there,
mhm.
and he was talking about how that family there's like a dozen of them or more, and we're talking like 18, 19, 20. These kids are ready, and we haven't even seen them yet.
Yeah, it's family
They have
business, man.
family members in the pipeline that and Jey Uso's on a podcast saying they're ready. So we're sitting here talking about Solo and Tama Tonga and yada yada, and there's more coming behind them. So, um, but excited, excited for sure. Moving on. Next, we had Selena Vega against Chelsea Green.
We got a new United States Women's Champion, Selena Vega. I mean, they were building towards it. She's been getting one up. She's been one up in Chelsea for the last few weeks. I have a feeling this is going to be a quick reign as U.S. champion, as I expect Chelsea Green to get it back fairly quickly. That's my opinion.
I think so too. I
I
like
like
that.
Chelsea Green as U.S. champion.
I did too. But
Oh,
I like Zelina Vega, and not to, we'll get to it here in just a second, but um, her husband also showed back up on
with
this
his
show.
with
So,
his with his old music too.
hmm. So it was nice. It was nice that, wife won the title, and then husband makes his re-debut on the same night, which was cool. Before we get into that, I just wanted to make the plug. Who are the last two men in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal?
This most recent one, it was Carmelo and Andrade.
I don't know pairing of two wrestlers in the ring that I like more than those two. You
Yeah, they
remember
got
last
great
year,
great chemistry.
I think last year I pitched some outlandish half drunk shenanigans where if they could just come up with a storyline that would put these two against each other always for, or just for like a year straight, because their matches were just that good. And oh,
Yeah, I mean, if it would be cool to like starting at um starting at Survivor Series, if they went back to traditional Survivor Series and they were on opposing sides of a team and they were the last two left and one of them wins. And then at Royal Rumble, they're the last two left and the other one wins.
yeah,
And then, or like they're one of three left or whatever. An elimination chamber, they're the last two. Like it would be cool to just see like the why is it always you and I at the end of this? It's always you, Carmelo. It's always you, Andrade. Like that would be fun because they're so fun to watch in the ring.
they really are. That what I wrote, uh, the combined style, ability, and charisma of these two gentlemen in the ring is what the future of the WWE looks like to me.
We'll see. I mean, I definitely think Carmelo is. Andrade is a little older than Carmelo. Um, there's a lot of young talent. Um, and I also don't think there's. We just talked about Jacob Fatu. He's not going anywhere. I don't think Drew McIntyre's going anywhere for a while. Cody's going to be coming back.
No,
Um,
for sure.
we'll see.
I just the adulation, the praise. I can't. You know, I don't know if Andrade's ever going to be above the mid card, but man, when I see him in the ring, I'm like, where's the push? Where's the push? Where's the push? It's kind of like back in the day whenever you'd see Dolph Ziggler in there and you're like, damn, this guy's crazy. He can take bumps. He can, at the time you were like, man, this guy's nuts. Andrade's above that, and oh, oh, that's my guy. That's
You
my.
need a. You can be great in the ring, but you need a story to get you over
That's
when it
true.
comes to getting above the mid card.
That's true. That's true. All right, we'll move on to Carmelo and the Miz backstage. Kudos to the Miz for that bitchin' chain he got. Carmelo.
Andre Chain.
Yeah. Um, Shortly after the Miz came out, and he cut a sick ass promo about being left out of WrestleMania, which was just he's also very good on the mic.
He's always
I,
good in the mic.
I enjoy the Miz so much, and it took me back to round about 2007, 2008 is when I really started watching wrestling again. It was after boot camp, it was after A school. I was stationed up there in Philadelphia, and I just had the ability to watch cable TV whenever I wanted to in my own apartment. And so that was at the time when The Miz and John Cena were going at it, when Randy Orton and Triple H were going at it. So everything The Miz is talking about, I I remember it. I know
Yeah.
what he's talking about. So that was fun for me. Um, his rant was didn't go too long before the lights went out and Aleister Black's music hits, and he got the same sick ass entrance, and then he came in and just kicked the shit out of the
Black
Miz.
Mass to the
Yeah,
freaking dome.
yeah, done toast.
Didn't say one word.
Nope,
Still
just
selling the eye injury from
yeah,
when he
yeah,
left WWE originally. Yeah.
yeah. He squatted down like he was just gonna shit his pants and kept it moving.
he when he because that eye injury happened like a couple of weeks before he was released from WWE, and then he continued to sell it when he was in AEW,
Uh
and
huh.
now he's back and he's still got the eye injury, making his eye a different color. Like it's just he's about the game. You know,
For sure.
I'm excited. We'll see. Much like I with the Raw preview, like what's in store for Rusev? What's in store for Aleister Black? with their comebacks because both of them kind of did the same thing.
Hmm.
They came back and
It's
beat the shit out of someone.
he's not as jacked as Rusev, but he looked good. He looked good. Happy he's here. Um, moving on, we went backstage to a Bianca interview. Her fingers are hurt. Her fingers are broken. To me, it was a write off.
For
You know, she
broken fingers? That's a write off? Broken fingers is a
it's.
write
I mean,
off?
what
She
did
ain't an
she say?
NBA player.
A little bit of time.
NBA players will be out for like 2 months with broken fingers, not a
It's
wrestler.
it seemed like a write off to me. And
I strongly disagree.
well, let me hear it.
I'm just saying it's not a write off for broken fingers. Yeah, so I don't think it's a write off. I just think that it you know what it was? It was a write off for that episode without her getting involved in the Jade, Naomi,
For sure.
Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton of it all. She's like, oh, she can't go out there. She's got broken fingies. LA Knight, Drew McIntyre.
All right. LA Knight and Drew McIntyre. I thought it was a solid match. It didn't. There wasn't anything crazy that happened. Again, I did not think it was going to be a clean finish, and it certainly was not. Solo came in and spiked the shit out of LA Knight out of nowhere. Um,
Damian Priest came out.
yeah, I was like, where do we go from this? And then Damian Priest shows and slammed Drew through the fucking table.
Not finished with you yet.
And then Fatu with the dive on LA Knight and Damian Priest. Um, he's just so strong, so over. I guess I'd ask you, what does all this mean? What do you think all this?
Hey, I don't know. I mean, I don't think maybe Priest is like this is a way to inject Priest into like a fatal four way of some sort for the U.S. Championship, but like Drew would love that. Like that's his whole thing. Um, I don't know what it all means. I don't. I mean, Jacob's got to. I'm assuming Jacob's going to defend that U.S. Championship at Backlash. Who's it going to be against? Well, right now it's against Drew because LA Knight got disqualified because Damian Priest got involved. So and LA Knight was not happy about that, and he confronted Damian Priest about that. And then that's when Jacob Fatu just obliterated everyone and started moonsaulting, destruction, moonsault destruction.
That's right.
So I don't know what it all means. But
Okay.
damn, the build up for those tables being these new reinforced tables, and they broke at WrestleMania, and now
Yeah.
they're just breaking, breaking, breaking.
Yeah. Get out of here. For sure. Triple H, like, oh, you can't do something too often or it's not special anymore. Yeah, get some new tables, guy.
We got to reinforce them, reinforce.
All right. Moving on to the main event, TLC.
Fun, so much fun. This match was incredible.
Yeah,
We got high spots, we got nostalgia spots, we got a prosthetic leg, got, we had it all. It was fun.
yep. Uh, Montez Ford was rocking some HBK-esque gear to the
Both of
ring
them
as
were.
well.
Both
Yeah,
of them, because they were in Texas.
for sure.
And they're coming out looking like the sexy boy.
That's right. Like you said, it was a spot fest, just all over the place. Um, my main takeaway from that match, and it's been this way over the years, is that Montez Ford will be a singles wrestler at some point.
And I will say that Angelo Dawkins will win a singles title before Montez Ford.
I'm on board with Angelo. It's just Montez Ford is booked as the star.
Why do you think? How's he booked as the star? They're a tag team.
Well, who got the belt?
Okay. They can't both climb up the ladder. Like, who was the one that had the biggest spot, though?
He's married to Bianca Belair. Okay,
Who
yeah,
had the biggest spot, though?
you're not wrong.
Who was the edge? Angelo was. He's the one that got the spot. I love Montez Ford. Like he's I would say that of the two, yeah, you see it. You see the Shawn Michaels in him. I don't Angelo Dawkins is not a Marty Jannetty. I think
No.
they're both going to be awesome if and when they go on a single run. But man, that match was great. Like DIY with a uh, I thought Triple H was Johnny Gargano's partner, but apparently not anymore. He got some new guy with a shaved face. But I thought it was great. Motor City Machine Guns were awesome. Like this was their first like not obviously this wasn't their first like hardcore, chairs match because they've been around for a very long time. But this will be in the lore now. It'll be in the lore now for who were in these TLC title matches. And we got the another nostalgia thing. Not only was the spear done by Angelo Dawkins while was it Gargano? Yeah, Gargano
Yeah.
hanging from them. But we
No.
also got
No, it was Champa.
Champa. Okay, Triple H, right? Um, but we got a Dudley Boys call out, and get the tables. It was just fun, and then that Montez taking that dude's leg and hitting Gargano over the back with it. It was hilarious. And tossed it back. And dude caught it. Like I saw like a view from I guess that fan shared his footage of what happened and it was perfect. Like Montez got it, hit him, and tossed it back to him all in one motion. It was never gonna wash that leg again.
I'm going to drop a challenge to the universe right quick. If anyone out there knows of a time when a prosthetic was used as a weapon from this match prior to when Diesel used it against Shawn Michaels at the In Your House 1996, the In Your House after WrestleMania, it was Good Friends, Better Enemies. He ripped off Mad Dog Vachon's leg. I think that's Luna Vachon's father or grandfather, but he literally reached out into the crowd, pulled this man over the guardrail, and ripped his prosthetic leg off that was, up to his kneecap and beat the shit out of Shawn Michaels with it. Vince McMahon was on the mic and was just, oh my God, this is a terrible human being. How could you stoop so low? Yeah. But if anybody out there can tell me another time a prosthetic was used between 1996 and 2025, I got a gift card for you.
All right.
I got a gift card for you. So hit me up if,
Are we only counting WWE history?
yes, yes. It's
I
not
can
for
think of
you, guy.
Well, I
Um,
can think of some ECW and some WCW ones that have
no,
happened in between that time frame. One of them does involve Kevin Nash.
no, no. You're not gonna. No. Um, but for sure, it was fantastic. The
Street
whole.
Profits still champs.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's next for them, but there's something. There's something. We'll see. We'll see again. The draft. The draft. There's a draft at some point. Maybe the Viking Raiders come over. I don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean we'll see, but maybe we'll get an announcement about that tomorrow night. We did get some one announcement for Raw tomorrow. We're gonna have a Rhea Ripley versus a Roxanne Perez match tomorrow. Did you want to close on SmackDown before I move on to Raw?
I just had a couple of speakeasies real quick. And then we can hit Raw. Just a couple of things that are floating around out there. Well, one thing that's floating around out there, and then one thing that's floating around in here. Uh, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it because honestly, it's a little frustrating. But The Rock's absence at WrestleMania, he wasn't there. He went on the Pat McAfee show and started kind of critiquing the the main event match.
I don't want to talk about The Rock.
Yeah, well,
He's a butthead. He's a big old butthead. I don't like him right now.
my
I don't like him at
consensus
all.
is we just the company as a whole is the product they're putting out is good enough that we don't need The Rock necessarily. We want The Rock, we like The Rock, we love The Rock, but we don't need The Rock.
And this could all be a work or a shoot, but the thing is that I would like loops to be closed, and he's the one that looped them. You
Well,
know, and that's why we need The Rock, I think. But at the same time, like, if you're not going to close these loops, don't just show up, man.
sure. Well,
Like,
I, based off of all the noise, um, I'm going to be an equal opportunity hater and be like, regardless of regardless, The Rock had to compromise or Triple H had to compromise. They both had to compromise creatively to make something happen. A compromise was not done. So shame on the two of them collectively for not making it. You think John Cena wanted that match or Cody Rhodes wanted that match at WrestleMania to go the way like that's John Cena. You guys can't get past whatever the hell's going on, and I don't know who was to blame, which is why I'm giving them each 50-50. It wasn't a terrible match,
and we
but
don't know if any of this is true anyway.
right, correct. It's
Like,
all it's all a work. So again, not worth spending a whole lot of time on, but felt like it was worth addressing expeditiously. So, uh, last, lastly, for you, um, what four superstars in the company right now? Give me two males and two females. Are you most interested in storyline wise, or lack thereof? What it could potentially be? Just give me two men and two women who you are when their names pop into your head, you're
Dominic
interested.
Mysterio
Okay.
and what in his IC title run, are they going to let the are they going to let the crowd cheer him because they want to? And and then I guess as a collection, the Breaker Rollins Heyman of it all,
Okay.
that faction. For women, um, I'm Chelsea Green. She's awesome. I want to see her continue as U.S. champion. I want to see some mid card storylines build. Um, so yeah, Chelsea Green. I want to see her get that U.S. championship back. And then another woman. I'll say Rhea for now. Like, where's she gonna go? Because she's definitely the most over on the women's side, if not throughout the company. She gets loud cheers. Um, so I had mentioned, and I'm gonna just transition into the raw of it all from this question that you asked.
Can I give you my two?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Real quick. Uh, I went easy for the males. I went Aleister Black and Rusev, you know, coming back to WWE. I want to see where their storyline goes. I'm excited for what the future holds for them. And females, I've got Alexa Bliss. I think potentially um, maybe that title came off of Chelsea Green for a reason.
Well, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Wyatt Six and Chelsea Green and her little posse of Goonies, something like that. I don't know. Again, it's just fantasy booking. But Alexa Bliss is back. We saw her at the Rumble, and we haven't seen a whole lot more. Excited to see her. Uh, and the second female is eventually, we haven't seen her yet, but a returning Asuka. What is that going to look like? What's she going to do? Are they going to go classic Vince and maybe have her attack Io Sky? Hopefully not. But, that would still probably be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be a fun match. That'd be
Yeah.
an awesome
Yeah,
match.
because they're so fucking awesome in the ring. Um, again, Aleister Black, Rusev, Alexa Bliss, Asuka. Can't wait to see what happens with you. Let's go from SmackDown to Raw, Bubba.
So the Rhea of it all, and it kind of ties into what I said earlier about Randy Orton and John Cena about, you know, they don't really get boos. I don't think you can do anything with Mommy where she's going to get booed anymore. And then, and that kind of ties into Becky Lynch. Like, what do we expect from this heel version of Becky Lynch? Now, Becky Lynch was getting booed before she left when she was going against Rhea Ripley. I don't know if like they were cheering the hell out of Becky Lynch when she was beating down Lyra Valkyria, you know? So there's can we expect certain wrestlers to get boos
I
after
think
being
Rhea
beloved
Ripley
for
can
so
get booed.
long?
I
Huh?
think Rhea can get booed. Flip the script and let her chase Dom and let Dom be daddy and let her be the little.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
They're
well,
not going to do that. They're not going to have that kind of storyline. We're in 2025. No. No. I just don't see like I don't see Roman getting booed. I don't see CM Punk getting booed.
mm-mm.
You know, even The Rock, he got booed a little bit, but ultimately they came back around and cheered him.
Oh,
So I,
shit.
I, I don't know. So with the Becky Lynch of it all, are the fans gonna buy her as the bad guy or just cheer her and maybe not boo Lyra? I just don't know. But yeah, we're gonna get Rhea versus Roxanne tonight, and I think this is a continuing uh, showcase of who to pay attention to as we gear up for next year's WrestleMania. I think Roxanne Perez is one of those. Uh, where we're balancing the next feuds and the women of the future with the present. So I don't know. I'm excited to see that match. Rhea Ripley is way bigger than Roxanne Perez, but we saw a an elimination chamber qualification match between Raquel Rodriguez, who's bigger than Rhea,
Right.
versus Roxanne Perez, and that was a good match. It was fun. So I'm excited about that. We'll see. We didn't get any Rollins, Punk, Heyman, Roman on SmackDown? Are we going to see some? I'm assuming we're going to see some on Monday night. We did see Rollins at the NFL draft just trolling Green Bay fans because he is a Chicago Bear fan. Which,
Right.
how much trolling can you do as a Bears fan in general? Not much. Um,
Oh,
so I'm interested to see where we progress with that. Um, because there was an interview out there where Rollins mentioned that we have the past, present, future. Is this an evolution 2.0? Uh, are we going to get a fourth member if it is evolution 2.0, a la Batista, Triple H, Randy Orton, and Ric Flair? I don't know. Maybe it's Rusev.
maybe.
Probably not. Did you want to jump in on any of those points that I made? I had planned to just do the Raw previews like really quick because what it's all speculation, you know.
No, for sure. Um, I don't know if we're gonna see Roman Reigns for a little bit. Just I think you're gonna get Paul Heyman, Punk, and Braun Breaker paraded out as the big new powerhouse faction, and CM Punk will probably come out. He'll probably get the shit kicked out of himself, but I don't.
I want to see Braun spear him in half
Right,
every week.
right. What I'm waiting for is for Braun Breaker to come out alone with Paul Heyman,
Be fine because
which
they've
would be,
already,
but it still would be cool.
yeah, he's done it before in NXT.
Um, no, I don't. I'm looking forward to Raw, but again, are we gonna? At some point, we gotta have John Cena not kick off the show. He's kicked off.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I'll have John Cena kick off every damn show because he wasn't around much.
That's true.
for
I
the
would rather
belt
have
from.
him than not have him, but let's do
Jeez,
something
what are
other
you
than
saying?
emo John
He
Cena to kick off
obviously
Raw.
didn't. He didn't raise you right,
I just
even
want
though you're like 3 years younger than John Cena.
let's give him the end of the show. Something other than emo John Cena to kick off Raw.
Emo John Cena. Um, but yeah, so with the Raw tag division, I'm assuming we're gonna see the New Day, the New Day.
Hmm.
They got run out of the ring by Rusev last week. You know, these are some of the tag teams on the men's side. We got Theory and Waller. I don't see them going against the New Day. We got the War Raiders, so they could get their rematch. LWO, I don't see it. Alpha Academy. Maybe if one of them was a face, that would be a banger of a match. Alpha, the not Alpha Academy, American Made. That's what they're called now.
Yeah.
American Made. But Alpha Academy too, you can throw them in there.
What's his?
Um,
I've asked you like 3 or 4 times. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting his name. Um, the dude who hurt himself, who was going ballistic, beating everybody up late last year.
Bronson Reed.
Is he
He's not
still
in
on
a
the
tag.
show?
Did you just like
Is he still?
he's not a tag team, he's a person by himself.
No, no. But Bronson Reed, is he still on the shelf, or are we awaiting his
No,
return
he's
here?
still on the shelf. He broke his ankle in like multiple places.
Okay. All
I
right.
don't think if we see him again, I don't think we'll see him again until SummerSlam.
Okay. I keep.
Maybe Money in the Bank.
I was segueing into Bronson Reed coming out and like joining up with Rusev just to create these.
A reinvention of the natural disasters. That'd be cool. I'd dig that. And then we also have the Judgment Day, who could theoretically be thrown into the men's tag team title scene. LWO. So the Raw division is tag division is pretty weak when you compare it to the SmackDown one. We
Yeah.
had Fraxium show up. Maybe we can see them go over to Raw after the draft, but it's I don't know. I definitely want to see. I mean, it really goes for the women's tag titles too, because we got Judgment Day that have those, and who else? We got the what's their name? The dancers, the ones that do the keg stand as their finishing move, where she holds her up. I'm having brain farts. Anyway, SmackDown's tag division is loaded
Agreed.
on the men's side, so I'm interested to see, can we see something like that on. Maybe this is New Days, the New Days, new rule, new
Well,
role is getting some new tag members over.
for sure. And that would, that dog would hunt. Is there any? I'm asking you. I should just look. Like legit tag talent in NXT that's getting ready for a call up.
Fraxium.
But well, they just went to fucking SmackDown.
Okay. You asked.
Okay. Well, the draft is coming.
Yeah. All right. So that's the Raw preview. SmackDown. Not as good as the Raw after WrestleMania, but it was still fun. That TLC match was a banger. A lot of people out there saying that it should have been on WrestleMania. Like, why wasn't this on WrestleMania? Well, they wouldn't have had the same amount of time because that whole main event on SmackDown was commercial free as well. So they got what I think 31 minutes to just go at it and for
Yeah.
that TLC match. So it was a
No.
lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. And same thing with the Andre the Giant battle royal. Like they did that
Friday
on
before.
SmackDown, and then they did the TLC match. You still got it, just because you didn't get it at WrestleMania. Um,
You still got it.
yeah, picking nits. Not interested. It
All
was
right,
a
Bubba.
banger. It was a banger, whether it was SmackDown or WrestleMania. And it was like you said, they had more time on SmackDown, a better match, a better product for
And a
all of us.
prosthetic leg.
Yeah, no shit.
All right,
Uh,
Wrestle Buddy. Uh, we're gonna bounce out. We'll probably see you and speak to you again Tuesday, Wednesday time frame after Raw. You got anything before we go?
Nothing. I just wanted to send a plug out. Derek, I sent you a message.
Nice.
Hit me back. We'd love to have you on the show sometime, buddy. Y'all take